week 6 at Christ King High School, and this week I was working on possession, so I'll be working on with the students, trying to keep their head up with the ball, looking around all the time, and just like trying to keep the ball at their feet while if they're up against an opposition player. So to start off with, I did some King of the Ring, which I'd done with them earlier, and because that game's all about possession really and keeping it away from opponents. So I did this individual first, and then afterwards I did it as a team. So like passing the ball around, passing the ball around, keeping the ball to yourself, dribbling past players, like sort of moving around so you can keep the ball. So like trying to, instead of standing from behind opponents, like try and move around so you can receive the ball when passing. So to start with, like I said, I did some King of the Ring, some simple stuff. It went better this time than it did the previous time because it didn't have as many interruptions as they knew at the beginning, because the teacher told them as well that to keep the ball to themselves once they had gone out. So started with that, went well. Then I went on to doing a dribbling game, dribbling possession. Like I've done it before. It was one where they're in pairs, one up against each other, and they had to try and keep the ball, but they had to keep the ball off each other much rather than try and dribble past. So it was just see how long they could keep the ball for. So I had two of them, just demonstrate. So one of them had the ball, the other one didn't. And what they had to do was obviously try and tackle them. And I was just saying, all right, so this one, so here we're gonna keep the ball from each other, and can't mention anything, but he was like, all right, yeah, I'm pretty confident with that. And he just kept the ball, showed his back to them, so he was shielding the ball from them and stuff like that. I was like, all right, so this is what you need to do, guys. Have a look at this. And then, because he was one of the more confident footballers anyways, so he was happy to demonstrate. So did that for 5 minutes. Keep switching round. I had them switching partners, so like they'd move down a square or they move up one. So it was a new person every other time. So I did that for 30 seconds and I switched over. Nice and easy. So it's just a bit simple keeping the ball, because in a real football game, no one really keep the ball any longer than 30 seconds really if they're trying to keep it off someone. Well, not from my own experience anyways. So I did that, and moved on doing some like teamwork possession, which was passing the ball about, which I had them into squares, and I'd have them in small teams, so either of three, because of the numbers, I had 3 squares where it was 2 teams of 3 in each one, and one when it was 2 teams of 2. And what they did is they had to, one of the teams was in bibs, in each square, each one of the teams was in bibs and one of them wasn't. So they had to keep the ball off the bibs, or if the bibs had the ball, they had to keep it off the non-bibs, by passing it about. So I let them go about this on their own for about 5 minutes, see how they did without my intervention. Just really sat back and observed. As they did this, I would, like I said, I've just sat back a bit more laissez-faire, and after 5 minutes I stopped them. I was saying, okay, so how's everyone doing with it? Like asking them how they felt. Like I saw myself, but I asked them how they felt themselves. They were doing, and it was all like, oh yeah, it's going good or something. Then I'd pick out, I'd try to do it like as anonymous. So I'd be like, okay, but what I've seen from a certain team is that they've lost the ball. Is both groups have lost the ball quite a lot of times, and they haven't really been able to keep it, which was the aim of the session. So what I did is I'd be like, okay, so say for example, so I had one there. I was like, so you're the defender. I'm trying to keep the ball. I'm trying to get the ball off my friend who's there. So I'd be like, they're like just doing a bit of moving, just a bit more demonstration, just like jigging off, bit of like drop of the shoulder, just to try and move about really, and just say, alright, this is what you got to do. Like just try and complicate it really, like for the defender. So like they think you go one way, but you go the other, and just try any way to keep the ball really. So I did this with them, and then set them off on it again, and they did a lot better in terms of their movement. I could see they were all moving much rather than just standing behind opponents. So I felt that did well on them. So, and then there's another couple. There was one of the teams I was like, okay, so I let the other ones go, but I stopped them, and I was like telling them again that what I've just told them. I was like, all right, so like re-emphasising it. So just saying, okay, so you can see I'm doing this and this, but like I'm not seeing that from you guys. So I want you to like be moving as possible, and then setting them targets of like, all right, so we need to keep moving. Like, I don't want anyone to be stop moving, always on your toes. So I'd give them individual targets as well. Well, group target, not really individual. So let them do that, and then so that took me about another 5 minutes letting them do that again. So by this point.